Adding all of my dry ingredients. I actually didn't have my electrical mixer, so this is actually the first time I'm doing this just by hand. But I added my dry ingredients. I did one large pack and then one small pack. I'm just checking on the directions to make sure that I have my measurements. Yes, I still read the box to make sure I have measurements, because if not, we have a little defect and I don't play that. So after I added everything, I just went straight into my measuring. So I started with my 2% reduced fat milk. I got my measuring cup, and I think I added about 2 cups of the milk. So I'm adding 2 cups of the milk and pouring it in. I started mixing it just a little bit just to have that um, consistency, get that mixed in before I added my next liquid based product in there. The box said about like maybe 5 cups of milk, but I end up doing half and half. So I did 2 cups of the heavy whipping cream, and I did like a little over one a cup and a half. So I added the heavy whipping cream in there and started mixing. It was definitely a lot of power. I'm not gonna lie to you, but after a while, I started seeing like it was slowly but surely thicken up. Um, I had to keep tilting the bowl and keep testing the consistency, but as you can see, like I adjusted my hands so many times just to make sure I still could get that consistency, and I was doing it because I had to whisk it for about 2 minutes. Yeah, this was kind of tedious, not gonna lie. So after getting it to a good consistency, I brought in my Cool Whip to give it a little bit more thickness. I always use Cool Whip. A lot of people use Cool Whip, so it's not really like a secret. Um, I added in the Cool Whip just to make it a little bit thicker, help speed up the process of the heavy whipping cream. Um, yeah, so I added in the Cool Whip, and then I went in afterwards to add my cinnamon and my vanilla for the extra boost of flavor. And after that, I allowed it to refrigerate for a bit just so it can sit and fully thicken up. And while I did that, I moved on to cutting up my bananas. Now, I don't know how you guys operate, but I like to slice and have everything pretty much organized, prepped, and ready to go when I'm layering my pudding. I don't like to keep stopping in between and opening packages and things like that. So I started with thinly slicing about 4 bananas out of the 7 that I had. And after that, I went and got my cookies and just took them out of the pack so I don't really have to keep stopping and tussling with wrappers and things like that. So took them out, laid them out, and then I began my layering process, as you can see. And I'll just let you guys look at how much I do everything and how I portion everything out. So I always start with a nice layer of cookies at the bottom just to give like a pie layer outline vibe. But yeah, I do more cookies at the bottom, and then throughout I start with the pudding and add the banana, and then just repeat the process. I think in total I did about like 4 layers of cookies, and then yeah, I did like 4 layers of cookies. And even though like I sliced a lot of bananas, it felt like I kind of portioned it out really well. The pan was pretty deep, so I feel like everything was like the perfect amount. So after finishing my few layers, when I get to the top, I like to be a little decorative. So as you can see, once I reach the top, I place the bananas out and space them out a little bit more. And then I just place my last few cookies. Normally I don't really have that many cookies at the end, which I'm used to. So whatever cookies I do have at the end, I place them in a nice neat little pattern as so. And then I always leave like maybe 2 or 3 cookies at the end to crumble up just to add that little crust like flavor. As you can see in a bit, I'll just start balling them up in my hand and just spreading the crumbs throughout just for the aesthetic. So clearly I did a good job, because by the time I woke up after refrigerating the pan overnight,